I think the first thing I say about Ray Epps is we just don't know. The second thing I'll say is what we do know is that he called for storming the Capitol, and he's not being criminally charged.
He's being protected.
He's been protected by the media and Adam Kinzinger defended him online. The question then becomes why? We have no evidence to explain what their motivation is. We can only surmise. At the very least, a plausible minimum non-conspiratorial response is Ray Epps may have been the first guy the feds went after because he was on the live stream saying it. They may have been looking at him right away. Made a deal with him immediately. It could have been the night before he's on a live stream telling people to storm the Capitol. Yep. I imagine this. Before anything happened, feds could have went right to him in the hotel and said, you're going to wear a wire. You're going to give us names and you work for us now as a CI. And that's why after the fact, you don't see him getting charged. Not that he's a federal agent, but that he may have been an informant after the fact. Now that's a minimum. Maybe there's something else beyond this. I just don't know. What I do know is it is very strange that they're putting people in solitary. They're charging them with seditious conspiracy, but the guy who's literally on camera telling people to do it, telling them how to do it, hasn't been charged.
Tim, MAGA granny. There's a grandma in there with her little flag, and she's a hardened criminal. They actually think she's going to be able to overthrow the government.
The photo of the one with the little flag was from, I think, Madison. But there is currently a 69-year-old
cancer patient
going to 60 days in jail.
And you know why the judge? And you know why the judge said that? Because the judge had let somebody else off, and they went on Fox News and didn't show remorse. But in the courtroom, they did show remorse. So because of somebody else's conviction, she got 60 days. 69-year-old cancer patient. So that's where we're at.
That's what I'm saying. So the funny thing is, and I'm glad AOC said the doors were opened by police, because that is a huge, powerful political point. And I will say I am shocked that it is the result of you calling AOC a big booty Latina.
Well, we don't know. It's the result.
No, it is. And reality is stranger than fiction, Tim. You have to realize that.
This is important because there are many people like the 69-year-old cancer patient.
Pamela Hemphill, by the way.
Miss Hemphill.
I don't know her specific story. But I really doubt the 69-year-old cancer patient was fighting with police officers. She's probably one of the people who saw the door opened and walked in very casually.
And she was on medical marijuana probably, so she didn't even know where she was at. I'm just kidding.
Because the police opened the door. In more than one location, police at the Capitol building opened the doors. There's even an instance where the police fanned people in, and a man was acquitted on all counts because he showed a video to the judge of him being motioned in by the officer. So he was acquitted for that. There was more than one door that was open. There was an instance where the cop said he respected what the people were doing. And there's instances where the cops took selfies with people. So now this woman is going to jail for 60 days after she was potentially invited in, or some people were. These people need to be pardoned across the board for this ridiculous misdemeanor stuff. And it is powerful, extremely powerful now that AOC has said the doors were opened. That clip needs to be, I don't know. Should I take that clip and should I buy TV commercials of it?
Yeah, honestly. Hey, but let's not forget Ashley Babbitt, probably let in by a Capitol police officer, gets shot and murdered. And she was a veteran. She's somebody that loved our country so much, and she just gets thrown under the rug as some evil person. So not only did, these people get let in, but some people got murdered.
I think maybe we do I have to figure out how to do it. There's a lot of things I want to do that never happen, unfortunately, which I don't like bringing it. I don't like saying we want to do things if we don't have a means to actually get it done. Yeah. But I would love to see a commercial where it's like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that there were cops and other people who opened the doors to let that in on January 6th and has called for an investigation. We agree with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Support the calls for an investigation into who opened the doors at the Capitol building.
Can you play that video?
Let me see if
she's got to be regretting that
now. Right. Or not. I think she's being very serious, and it is disturbing.
AOC cops, Big Booty is the person that aggregates.
May have let people in.
AOC Big Booty popped up when I typed in AOC.
Yeah, that's funny.
And that people would be in if police let people in, and those people that were let in are in solitary confinement, it is inane. It is adjunct to American democracy.
I just want to say real quick, my video talking about AOC and the big booty thing was age restricted on YouTube.
What?
The video where I talked about big booty Latina and all that stuff. They age restricted
an adult
it.
term.
Maybe
Booty is? Because don't babies wear
Big
booties?
booty, no.
Well,
those are
so
on their feet.
here's the video clip. Let's listen.
BBW.
Let's wait. This time I'm going to make sure we have the audio set properly
look at
before I
us.
press play.
Like Antifa?
And that there were actual officers working with this, and we never got to the bottom of that, and we never got any answers about that. And then to this day, we're just supposed to pretend that that never happened.
What about
I
Antifa?
have no idea what happened to the people on the inside who were very clearly sympathetic with what was going on and opening the doors wide open for that. And I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like none of that ever happened. And then right afterwards, you have a massive, you just have this idea that throwing money at that problem is going to make it go away
We could burn
without
some
any
buildings.
accountability. And so this is where these things are breaking down. We're not safe. And it's not just about members of Congress not being safe. The
Black
food
Lives
staff
Matter.
workers aren't safe. The
Black Lives
janitors
Matter.
aren't safe. Like, we need to get to the bottom of this.
Yes. So I'd love to get like a commercial of like a 60-year-old man being like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, people on the inside open the door.
This is what happened. When you talked to her, when you approached her on the steps, she was with a Capitol Police officer that didn't get in your way and stop you. And now she's questioning, is that guy in it? And she's wondering if there are like traitors in the building. Whatever her reasoning is, it's important that we find out if people let people into the building. Because those people are in solitary confinement right now, and that's
Ian,
not.
do you think they had a key? I mean, how do you think they opened the
I
door?
saw a magnetic lock on a door get opened. I saw the video of a cop
Who
looking
did
at
it?
I don't know.
Right.
It was someone off camera.
Yep.
And it was a police officer that like looked
And
up and then
you think these dudes who are like trying to break a window to get in know where the mag release is?
And you don't think there's some of those cops that probably were sympathetic to what was happening?
For
I think,
sure.
I mean, she's obviously correct.
And I don't care what the end result is. Maybe the end result is like members of Congress were in on it. Good, whatever. Let's have an investigation into who opened those doors. If there were members of Congress that were orchestrating the opening of the door to bring people in to disrupt this, then we should find out who did that and why. I think all of these bumbling dotards, these old people, the MAGA meemaws, who just saw a clear path and cops waving them in, who walked in and now have their lives destroyed, should be pardoned. Those people should have never been charged. That was a fault of Capitol Police and the government. I want an investigation into the cops who opened the doors. If they didn't open the doors, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, and your bestie, Joe Rogan, talks about one of his favorite things that Alex Jones did is he exposed the WTO about I believe it was in Seattle, where there were agent provocateurs who stayed in a building and, basically they were all wearing the same boots. And agent provocateurs exist. Now, you're going to say, oh, none of them were on January 6th. We have evidence of people using agent provocateurs to make a riot look bad. That's a playbook. It's kind of similar to Operation Northwoods, which was, is a declassified thing where they're going to take planes and fly them into buildings during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then 9/11 was kind of similar to that. But what I'm saying is, if you do not think the government has classified levels of information and it's creating a narrative by using their own military, CIA, FBI, whatever you want to call it, alphabet agencies, in order to make things look worse than they really are, you might be a conspiracy theorist.
because it's a reason to get more funding for more security apparatus to grow the security
It's
organization.
a false flag attack, guys. And this is a false flag attack playbook. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I know everything, but just all of the evidence, when we see Ray Epps, when we see the way the media is protecting him, it's hard for me to imagine that this was all just accidental.
Yeah, it could be a hybrid of like people getting angry and going to the Capitol and storming, and people trying to benefit off it by making it come out worse as a result. So it could be both.
I think if it is in that vein of false flag, it's more so that they allowed it to happen. And that's why there's video of police officers not intervening. There's a guy walking up to cops being like, why won't you stop this? And the cops are like, we don't care. It explains more so why there was no National Guard, no heavy police presence, why they're claiming, like Trump said he wanted the National Guard there and they rejected it. So if I'll put it this way. On 5/29, the left insurrected. They tried to they did tear down the barricades of the White House. They set fire to St. John's Church and the guard post. They forced the president into a bunker. If the police there stood down and they tore the fences down or breached the White House, there would not be a 1/6. Donald Trump would be president. Donald Trump, there would have been a major statement. There would have been far left extremists have breached the White House. Americans would have been terrified. They would have said, this is insane. And then the conversation would have been the police saying things like, we stood down because we did not want to hurt people and we didn't know how to react to this level. But what happens is the police go out, do their job and clear the space. And the response from the media and the Democrats was to investigate the police over it. They said the Capitol Police should be investigated for attacking protesters. That's how it went down on January 6th. Because the police let everyone do everything, it's geez, the police were the poor victims and these are the bad guys. It's the very typical I'm the victim narrative that is used to manipulate people to gain power.
And it is potentially possible that was happening. Like a cop's like, there's 700 screaming people, I'm not getting involved. Are you kidding me? Like that could probably also have been part of it. I wouldn't, I wouldn't get, I mean, what are you going to do? You get mobbed if that happens.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Come hang out live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Super Chat will even answer some of your questions. If you want to check out the After Hours Censored Show, go to timcast.com and become a member. We put those up Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. They're very funny, not very family friendly. We'll love to see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.